This book was such a funny and entertaining read for me. I absolutely enjoyed reading it and I cannot wait to share my thoughts on it with you guys. So today I will be reviewing The Mechanics of Yenagoa by Michael Afenfia. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. As I said earlier, today I'm going to be reviewing this book right here. It's called The Mechanics of Yenagoa by Michael Afenfia. Before I start, right, this book was sent to me by Masobe Books, that's the publishers, and boy, I was mighty impressed. I'm not even someone who judges a book by its cover, literally and figuratively, but when I saw the cover of this book and I saw the packaging of the book, I was mighty impressed. I had not read any book by Michael Afenfia. I didn't know what to expect, but I mean, just look at this, like, look at the mechanics, look at the tools. It was such a cool cover. And then inside you have like random spanners and stuff like that. In fact, let me show you how the beginning of a chapter looks, right? And then I opened the book and saw that it was like 300 pages and I'm like, glory. Typically for me, any book that is like 400 pages and above, if you are not interested, I can literally shoot you. Like, my ideal book length is 250 to 300 pages. 300 pages and above, maybe early 300s at most. But if you're getting to 400 pages, oh my goodness, if you're not about to change my life or my destiny, then I don't know what you're doing. And if you're going to give me a cliffhanger at the end of your 500 page book, then honestly, you just need to be sued and kept in some box or something like that. So let me stop talking too much. I'm going to get into this book now. I'm going to read out like a little bit about the author from the book. A writer, social commentator, and public intellectual, Michael Afenfia doesn't believe in boundaries. He has crisscrossed genres in his writing and is never afraid of trying out new things. Although a lawyer by training with years of experience in banking and public service, writing has always been his passion. So far, he has authored a number of critically acclaimed novels, such as When the Moon Caught Fire, A Street Called Lonely, Don't Die on Wednesday, and Paxoid, which he co-authored with his teenage son Biboye. Between 2014 and 2016, he served as chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Bayelsa State Chapter. He currently resides in Canada with his family but continues to mentor young creatives in Nigeria. So what is this funny book about? Let me read out the synopsis of the book. Ebinimi, star mechanic of Kalakala Street, is a man with a hapless knack for getting in and out of trouble. Some of his troubles are self-inflicted, like his recurring entanglements in love triangles and his unauthorized joyriding of a customer's car, which sets off a chain of dire events involving drugs, crooked politicians, and assassins. Other troubles are caused by the panorama of characters in his life, like his sister and her dysfunctional domestic situation, the three other mechanics he employs, and the money-loving preacher who has all but taken over his home. The story is fast-paced with surprising twists and a captivating plot. A Dickens-esque page turner. This is Ebinimi's story, but it is about a lot more than him. It is an exploration of the dynamics between working class people as they undertake a colorful tour of Yenagoa, one of Nigeria's lesser known cities, while using humor, sex, and music as coping mechanisms for the everyday struggle. It is a modern classic tale of small lives navigating a big city. I was actually intrigued to see what this book would be about. I've read quite a number of fictional books or books that are set in Nigeria generally, and you don't really find a number of them set in. In fact, I've never seen a book that was set, if you guys have, please point them to me, that was set in Bayelsa, in Yenagoa, right? And the fact that the main characters, or what the plot centers around, is around a group of mechanics, one in particular, and then how all the other characters affect that mechanic. And it's interesting because there's some characters in the society that have been classified as certain kinds of people due to their occupations, and these are people in the society that you never really, how do I say it, you never really pay attention to what their personal lives may be. Like, you have a car and you've taken it to your mechanic shop a couple of times to fix it, and he's just your mechanic and that's all he is. But just getting an expose into, I mean, this is fictional, but just getting an expose into what could be the life of a Nigerian mechanic who is, like they said, in one of the lesser known cities, that is Bayelsa, Yenagoa, right? And it was just really, really, really interesting to see what the life of a mechanic or a group of mechanics could actually be. For most of the plot, I didn't feel like there was any direction, as it were, that it was heading to. It was more just an expose on the lives. You know, when you read a book that just shows from one palaver to another, you're entering into from one trouble to another, and it's just showing your everyday life and how you encounter maybe customers who come to service their cars, the little things that happen behind the scenes that people don't know about. And the plot actually explored in a very subtle way some recurring themes that have been prevalent in Nigerian societies today. So it was fast-paced for me. I really, really loved it. I love the fact that it went straight into action. The plot twist, in fact, I was just tired. I'm like, no, wow, I don't think I've read a book that had so many plot twists, but the grandest plot twist was at the end. And I was like, you know what? Like, somebody needs to get Mr. Afenfia, because this is something else. Like, it was just, you know what? As I'm recording this, I literally finished reading this book yesterday, and I know that I recorded my reaction to this book and I put it in my weekend reading vlog. So if you guys want to see that, you can go and check that out. But let's just say I was in shook, basically. The plot flowed, the writing flowed, everything flowed, and I really just had a nice, entertaining read. The setting of the book, like I said, was also something that intrigued me and I really, really appreciated. I had a feel of Yenagoa. Honestly, like when I was in uni, I had quite a number of acquaintances that were from Bayelsa, and I don't know, Bayelsa, Yenagoa is one of those, like he said, lesser known cities that not so many people speak about. They just group them, or everybody in the Niger Delta region, But Bayelsa on its own is like one of those cities that is yet to be fully explored, even by the average Nigerian, except you're from there or you've had anything to do there. So I really, really appreciated the fact that it was set in Bayelsa. It made it so unique, and I had a proper feel of it from the Bayelsa pidgin that they were speaking. In fact, I was reading all the pidgin in Bayelsa pidgin. Look, Niger Delta pidgin is not the same as normal pidgin. If you live in the Niger Delta areas, or you've met somebody from there, you know that their pidgin is like hardcore pidgin. I love the fact that along the line there were like some delicacies that were explored there. I got to know like their starch and banga. Apparently that's something that Bayelsa people are very emotional about, and I really loved it. There was just this display of culture from the setting of the book. I love the fact that the names that were used were also like Bayelsa names. Like the main character was Ebinimi, there was Ebizimo, there was and then there were Bayelsa names that you're like, huh? Like they have really weird names sometimes, like treatment was somebody's name. Treatment. I know that Bayelsa people generally have this name. Some of the names I'm like, yeah, this one is definitely from Bayelsa. So I love that exploration of culture in the book, which just came from the setting. So, and I love the fact that the author was really consistent in making the book set in Bayelsa. Half of the places that he mentioned, in fact all the places that he mentioned there, I honestly did not know. I'm sure somebody who has lived in Bayelsa or has had business in Bayelsa would probably relate to most of the locations, but I had no clue. But it still didn't make me feel like I could not understand what was going on, because for me it was a new learning experience. Next up, I'm going to be talking about the author's writing style. Wow, I really enjoyed it because in fact, I felt like it was the Ebinimi who came to life and actually wrote the book by himself. The book was written in the first person narrative, and it was Ebinimi who was telling his story. I don't even know if I've been pronouncing this name well, honestly, because I've never really heard of it. I've only heard of Ebizimo, but I've not heard of Ebinimi before, so I hope I'm really pronouncing it well. So yeah, he's the one who is telling his story from a first person narrative, and he's just, man, the story is a lot. As in, the guy just, as in, you know, when somebody's just sitting out on their own, trouble will always come and be finding you. Like, you just be like, what is it again? You're walking back from one little trouble. There was just so much. It's like, can he just have a moment where he can just enjoy himself and just have peace? Well, I just felt sorry for him. There was a lot of humor. There was a lot of pidgin, there was a lot of slangs. He wrote it, and I love the fact that the author unapologetically used pidgin. Sometimes when people are writing books and they want to talk about something in a different language, or they want to use pidgin, they'll be putting it in italics, and I'm like, but pidgin is a language. All the pidgin was written in normal font, you know, and it was just a part of his story, because half of what they're talking about is in pidgin. So it's either you understand or you don't understand. Ebinimi is telling his story, and he's not going to speak English all through. I love the fact that I could see life through his eyes, like a normal mechanic, just from the writing style of the author. I thought he did a very, very good job. On characterization, wow, I think that was what carried the book. I really, really think that the characters carried the book, because like I said, the plot was not, oh, we are racing towards one particular destination, or there's something that we are trying to do and it's a build up onto that. It's just exploring the lives of this main protagonist, who is Ebinimi, and the different characters that center his life, and how those characters intertwine with each other. Man, that was where the plot twist, I was just like, you know what, like some of the plot twists, I'm like, you know what, I'm done for today, and then I'll run back to the book. Don't leave me. I was just an emotional wreck when I was reading the book, because all the characters were so intertwined that you're like, what's going on here, what's happening? And I love the way the author really developed the characters. Their personalities shine through, from the minor characters to the major characters to the people who Ebinimi was working with in his shop. I think the author did such a great job in the characterization of the characters, bringing their personalities to life. And that was, for me, what carried the book. That was what brought the humor. That was what brought the trouble. That was what brought the plot twist. There was Blessing, who was Ebinimi's on and off girlfriend. That one, as in, I don't know whether she carried fire for her head, as in she was just a hot-headed, just imagine a hot-headed Bayelsa woman. I love the fact that there was a lady who was interested in being a mechanic. She was a mechanic in another workshop, and you know, she came to Ebinimi's workshop, I think, because something had happened. I love that fact, because it's so easy to group things like engineering and mechanic work and all this workshop carpentry into things that men would typically do. In fact, I'm sure the character herself had faced a lot of questions like, you're a girl, go and do girl stuff. But she had a passion for fixing things. She had a passion for cars and all of that, and I could so relate, because I have a passion for cars and sports, and people always want to toss you to decide like, oh, go and do your girl stuff, and it's like, what girl stuff? So I really love the fact that there was a female character who was also in the workshop. She was as hardworking as the men. Ebinimi did not look at her differently because she was female and she had come to work in the store. She was a very pretty, nice spoken young lady who was just trying to make life out on her own. So I really did enjoy that. There were certain things that would happen that you could predict what a character would do, because along the way you sort of got to understand them and understand their personalities as well as their lives. So I think that in terms of characterization, wow, I give the author a thumbs up, because I think it was a great read. The book subtly explored some themes like corruption, violence, you know, politics, camaraderie between friends, as well as paternity fraud. Man, that paternity fraud was like, I'm not gonna say nothing. I love the fact that the book felt like it was written in real time, with the music and the songs that were referred to when the mechanics are walking and they're singing. And they're singing songs, like maybe one is singing Rihanna's song, and you have to listen and you're like, wait, what? Like, what are you saying? Like, the guy is just literally singing a different remix of the song, and you're like, now wow, spoil the song for somebody. So there was music in there, there was humor, there was, you know, just a lot of those things that we typically take for granted. You know, Ebinimi was actually a graduate, and he was actually doing his master's in the university while he was still a mechanic. So I mean, it's not every mechanic that is an illiterate. There are people who go to school, they have graduate degrees, they have even learned maybe up to SSCE or something, and they're well educated, they can speak well, they can do well, but they just have that passion. All in all, I thought that this book was an exciting, interesting read. What score would I definitely give this book? I'll give this book a strong 9.2 over 10. Why? Because I love the fact that it was short. It was not too long, it was not too short. I love the cover of the book. I paid attention to the details. I love the fact that it made me laugh. I appreciated the plot twist, and I think that the author did an amazing job in bringing the characters to life. If you're looking looking for fiction that will make you laugh, that would make you gasp with all the plot twist and all of those things, then this book is definitely for you. It just got released in June, I think June 15th, so it's a new release. You can get a copy from Masobe Books or from Roving Heights. I'm going to leave their links in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this book review. I will see you in my next one. Bye.